early on I said to him, you tell me what I'm doing for this show. And he started drawing, he said, islands, Mum, magic islands. And I went, righto, okay, islands. And I said, well, you draw them for me. And so then he started doing this. And then we were reading Peter Pan with my boys and struck upon, you know, Neverland being the ultimate fantasy island.
And I think last time I was here, we also spoke about the relationship with the ship and the idea of having birds as almost like this call, or almost like a warning or a hint of what's to come.
Well, that's right. That was the first indication of finding land or arriving somewhere, is the birds. Mm-hmm. Pirates had, you know, pet parrots, because there's all the pirates in Neverland as well.
And even the use of like feathers to kind of, you know, pirates to adorn themselves with colourful feathers and...
Yeah, there's a lot of theatre with pirates, I reckon.
Absolutely.
So this one's my pirate boat, or Captain Hook's boat, that Peter Pan claims. And also the fact that they go flying with a little bit of pixie dust, that they can fly. It's definitely it's definitely sailing and in the ocean, but it's above the water so that it's flying.
And it feels like, you know, all of the brushstrokes you've used here, there feels like there's almost like this wind under the ship that's kind of taking it, more so than the ocean.
Yes,
I really like.
There's probably more movement in the boat than the ocean. The boys for me are a great resource, because their mark making and their ideas are so much more fluid, and there's this real directness, and that they make marks and they can add things to their drawings and to the undersurfaces here that I can't do anymore, you know. Like they have these, like I wouldn't do that now. Like it's like, I don't know, I just can't do that. But the little guys can come in and go, and then, you know, and I've let them do stuff. I sort of have to go, oh, okay. And then I definitely use that as a tool to start a piece, because then I go, okay, what am I going to do with that? Because I find it a more interesting challenge than any marks that I can make. You know, it's a bit, I like to, I guess, be challenged and take a lot of risks still in making a work, and they provide these lovely, like, wild things that I go, right, how am I gonna work with that and do things that I wouldn't do? So it's broadening each piece and keeping me on my toes, I guess.
For sure.
I love Raji's work so much just because it's so, there's just no filter, and it is, you know, absolute direct, and he's so sure of what he's doing. And then there's just this beautiful flow and quirkiness to it. So I was interested in taking those elements, which have always been in my work. It's been an interest in my work, but this show was like a very conscious step up in his and my collaboration process, and recognising that and going, this is an opportunity for me to take this further with this show and give him more say, because especially if I'm speaking about my relationship with him and mothering him, and ways of seeing things differently and experiencing things differently, both him and I, then, you know, he's got a lot of the answers in his work and his approach to life about how to do that.
When I look at them, I think that there's a real, I don't know, a real kind of like direction with the mark making. Like it brings you in and you kind of come out, and it's just a fantastic reference work, as well as an amazing work on its own. Yeah. But I really see this referenced in this whole body of work.
Yeah, and it's got like obviously the big leaves of the palm trees coming down, but also in quite a sort of an obscure way. Like I just love the simplicity of Raji's drawings, but the obscurity and the complexity, which is, you know, that's what the core of my practice too, those two elements working together.
And even the textures on, you know, like these shapes here, I can see that in the work as well.
Yeah.
And I know you also have spoken a lot about portals as well in a lot of the works, kind of looking through the layers or going into a work.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, when I'm painting the work, it's what's behind that layer that's, I don't want to say more important than the front, but it's that's where my interest is, and that's where there's this element of sort of almost a trickery in the work with the positive negative space, and I really want to invite the viewer in and then also suggest that, hey, this is talking about something entirely different than what you're looking at. This isn't just the beautiful palm trees and the suggestion of a sunset. This is also like a really important symbol for me of how I can represent my experience in the community. And this one called Drifting Away really is about the fact that sometimes I feel like I'm on my own island, and islands are really beautiful, usually very beautiful, but they can be really isolating too. And so this piece is very active, this one is drifting away. So this was, I guess for me this piece was really about going, yeah, see you later, I'm happy to go. And it's kind of like a pride piece for me. They're not real places, as Neverland is sort of the ultimate fantasy island. What I'm painting and what I tend to always paint is not a real place, it's a different realm. And so within the realm of Never Neverland here, all the icons and the motifs are from Peter Pan and Neverland. So borrowing the motifs to tell my story, or mine and Raji's story, because Raji's very involved in this body of work too.